Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia of a subject which is very important for perfect human life. We know about perfect anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and to some extent psychology from modern medical sciences, but understanding chakras, nadis, consciousness of ancient Indian wisdom, and that too with respect to my own personal experience, I am bringing both. Chakras is association with planets of the solar system, endocrine system, ganglion, and different parts of the nervous system, and whole thing, and putting in a package which has been my experience, which is very different from all the experiences of anyone till date. Please take it, that is my experience, my conception with respect to DIVYANK, AKHANDATA by and large. Now, as I am saying, my mission, vision, objective of life is impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. And that's all I am interested, and nothing other than that, the core subject. I am not interested in relativity or peripheral, multi-dimensional thing. The core, which is the foundation of everything, is what I am talking about, and that is DIVYANK, the divine design of nature, which is the perfect object with all the perfect objects of the entire universe, the design created for the first time revealed in 2015. With that, I am talking about my experience of more than 60 years of mathematics, physics, chemistry, medical sciences, and all the 64 arts. Keeping an integrated picture, is this particular video is totally enlightening in the light of DIVYANK and AKHANDATA. Now come to understand chakra. A chakra means this wheel, whole or world, and we all experience chakras within our body, which are the centers of consciousness. Now I am making it very clear. They are vibrating nerve powers associated with endocrine glands, nervous system, and by and large very dynamic force, and they are attached to the grey matter of the spinal cord inside. Let it be clear. Spinal cords, grey matter, and of course the part of brain also is associated with it at higher chakras. They are associated with autonomic ganglion, major 10 centers of endocrine gland, resemble the Datura flower or Solanaceae flower, as you can see on the top, because it has got the shape which is exactly the shape which I have experienced, seen within my own self, and I can play with it. I have its clockwise rotation, anti-clockwise. Clockwise rotation will increase the power of chakra, where anti-clockwise will reduce it, and this process goes on all the time depending upon your condition. If you are perfectly normal, this balance is autonomic control, and that makes you perfect. If it is increased, heat is going to be too much. If it is reduced, heat is going to be very less, and that's it. And the chakras below area will be cool, chakras on the higher will be fast. That's also real. That's why we need to do the rotation to make sure that we are perfectly healthy by and large. And that is what leads to homeostasis. That is what equilibrium, that is what equilibrium potential is, and that is the ideal homeostasis by and large. From that angle, we will take from DIVYANK ratio to the next level. Now, it is normally believed, the people who believe in Tantra, that there are 7 chakras, and those chakras are Muladhara, Svadhisthan, Nabhi, Anahata, Visudhi, Ajna, and Sahasarara. And I will tell you, those are the 7 extensions on the external side. They have no relationship with the physical side as such with endocrine system, autonomic system or nervous system at all. They are more into pranamaya kosha outside, which helps you to rise from Muladhara to Sahasarara. Through pranamaya kosha, energy going up, you can experience and you feel that you are enlightened. Actually, you are not at all enlightened. That happens to anybody and everybody. That is an external world which gives you power of external world. But unless until you experience external world with respect to your inner consciousness, you cannot really record that within your nervous system. I have been saying very clearly there are 100 trillion cells, all need to dance with each other completely. There are 100 billion neuron cells and each one can make 20,000 memory synapses. That should be the focus, and experience of that should be recorded. 20,000 into 100 billion neurons in the body. Imagine the power you have, and that would make you walk, talk encyclopedia. And my focus is only that I've experienced that within the body. I'm talking from my experience. I'm not reading anything. This is just to give a PowerPoint to give you an idea. From that angle, now let me tell you, there are not 7 chakras which everybody talks about it. There are 10 plus 3, 4, 4, 1, 9 chakras, and that is DIVYANK's 10 plus levels of consciousness. And another thing which I am making it very clear, there are 2 components which are very prominent. Posterior component is a sensory in nature and the motor is the front component. There are 10 chakras. Now let's start with back chakra. From bottom it goes up to the posterior, which is with a sensory nervous system, posterior part. Muladhara, Svadhisthan, Manipura, Usha, Anahata, Visudhi, Ajna, Vigyan, Pragyan and Sahasarara. This is how it goes from back side to right on top of the brain. But then you have right in the middle about autonomic nervous system, which these are associated with. I am not going to talk about that because they are associated with that as well, grey matter is concerned. But when it comes to the question of producing results, last one is a Gyan Yoga. Now for Karma Yoga, you need to come Sahasarara down to Pragyan, Vigyan, Ajna, Vishuddha, Anahata, Usha, Manipura, Svadhisthana and Manipura. Now in this particular you will find there is a couple of names which are not heard by you. Particularly Nabhi and Manipura are same. Usha is what celiac plexus is. We are going to talk about it. That is a new name. And of course Vigyan and Pragyan are also new names which are not used by any other people. Though 3 additional things complete 7 plus 3 into 10 and what I am talking about. So there are 10 back chakras, 10 front chakras, and of course they have association in the middle with the autonomic and endocrine glands, and that's the reality, and that is physically possible seeing in the section of spinal cord as well as brain is concerned. Spinal cord, you can see the posterior dorsal root ganglion is sensory, and anterior horn cell is motor, and lateral horn cells give you autonomic nervous system. And they are also associated with endocrine glands and different endocrine glands, planets and autonomic ganglia and nervous system. I am going to talk about as a full package as I have experienced, as I use it even today. Now comes the question of number of petals of different chakras. Let's talk of the ancient picture called Sat Chakra Nirupana or Tantra or world records it. They say Muladhara chakra has 4 petals, Svadhisthana has got 6 petals, Nabhi and Manipura have 10, Usha is no mention, Anahata has 12, Visudhi has 16, Ajna has 2 and Sahasarara has 1000. These are the numbers which are mentioned in the book about chakras and their nadis. But from my experience, Akhand experience, Tantra Vidya which I talk about it, Muladhara has 4, same like other people, Svadhisthana 6, no problem, Nabhi and Manipura 10, no problem, Usha has got 12 and Anahata has 12, Visudhi has 60. Absolutely there is no difference between ancient and my concept as far as this is concerned. But when come to the Ajna, they talk about 2 and I talk about 28. Vigyan, they don't talk and I talk about 52. Pragyan, they don't mention, I talk about 96. And Sahasarara, of course, both the things is 1000 only. Now you can see the difference is there in 3. Usha, Vigyan and Pragyan, and of course Ajna also 28 instead of 22. You see a certain ascending number in the process, and that ascending number is primarily I have derived 1, our relationship with the planets on one side, and also the number of nerves or endocrine glands are the organs of the autonomic ganglion are nuclei in the nervous system to define these numbers. There are doubly verified. 1 between Earth and other planets, and within body with respect to the number of nuclei there. So this is a cooperation or coordination between astrology, astronomy, as well as human consciousness. Let's move on to the next stage. Let's start with the Muladhara chakra, which is the lowermost part of the whole thing. And Muladhara is finely associated with moon. That's the reason moon and earth have got a very association of 108 moons can fit between space between earth and the moon is 108. That's the most beautiful picture I have ever seen. 108 moons between moon and earth can fit in is mathematical design I've already explained. The radius of earth is 6,220 kilometers. Diameter of moon is this much. Distance is this much, and divided by this 108 which I have shown. And that's the reason I converted all this into pentagon, 4 fused beams which are bottom part. They'll work as one, and there are 4 sympathetic nerves which come from ganglion impar. 2 go to the legs and 2 go up. Up is Ida and Pingala, and similarly you can say Ida and Pingala to the left and right leg are associated with Muladhara chakra only. So that is what it is all about. Now comes to the Svadhisthana chakra, the very next chakra, which is associated with Venus. Muladhara with earth and moon. That is the conjunction. Now Svadhisthana is the planet, us and the Venus. And the number of lotus petals in Svadhisthana is 6, and distance from sun is 108 million kilometers. If you take astronomical unit of 15 million kilometers, which is 1/10 of the distance between sun and earth as one unit, you will find there are 7 and 2 numbers. There I can say a difference between 7 and 2, 2 and 3 put together, I will put it as 6, because Svadhisthana is connected with sacrum bone, and there are 3 nerves, S2, S3, S4, and both the 3 plus 3 is 6. I would go by that rather than this number, because his are very close and fluctuating. The distance is not much and very small, and they move on. So I would put it a moving distance which could be average, could be 90 million, not 108, and 90 by 15 would be 6. I go by that as my understanding of the number of petals. Let's come to the question of Nabhi chakra, the third chakra is associated, both Nabhi and Manipura both are as one. They're the jewel, them. They're connected with adrenal gland. They are triangle, the fire element. There are 5 lumbar vertebrae in the human spinal cord, and there are 10 nerves which come out of 5 lumbar. So 10 number for Nabhi is emergency. It is an emergency endocrine gland, and it is associated with Rudra and Shiva, and also the Rakni and other things which I am not going into details of it. And then 3 layers adrenal cortex. What I mean to say is, outer layer produces minerocortical estrogen, and second glucocorticoid, third androgens, and inside you have a sympathetic hormones which are produced by adrenal medulla, and these are the one which play a role to save us automatically. At this juncture, let me say, Kundalini moves between Muladhara and sleeps there when we go to sleep. When we wake up, it goes to Svadhisthana chakra to produce the amount of hormones to make us active, alive, and make ojas and tejas from adrenal glands only. And then in emergency, they move to Nabhi chakra to make us save come what may. The first layer will save water, sodium, expel that, then glucose, and blood pressure, everything would be associated only with adrenal gland. So from these, Kundalini moves in every one by and large, irrespective whosoever it is. So Kundalini sleeps in Muladhara, wakes up to Svadhisthana chakra, then goes to this in emergency. But higher chakras also they play a role. Suppose during digestion, food, Kundalini will go to digestive system, and it also has a role in heart all the time. That's what many people say this is center. It works towards that. It also works from other centers. So Kundalini can move to any extent. It is very dynamic, otherwise depending upon the kind of thoughts we have. So we are very super intelligent, it's intuitive, so it more function in the higher centers than function in the lower. But circulation should be important for grounding and remembering for rest of life. And that is what I have done since my childhood. Learn, register it and ground it so that I can lead a perfectly healthy, wealthy, so that I don't suffer from Kundalini syndrome come what may. That has been because I know the art of rising and grounding at the same time. Now the comes question, Usha chakra is associated with sun rays. I make it very clear. They are rays of the sun. The aura of the sun is this particular chakra, and that's why it's connected with celiac plexus. The symbol is hexagonal, and there are 6 thoracic vertebrae from out of the 12. The last 6 are connected with this, and as a number there are 12 lotus petals. 6 plus 6 is 12, and it is associated with pancreas, which is the endocrine gland, which produce beta cells, insulin, and also alpha cell, glucagon. The balance of insulin and glucagon is responsible for glucose homeostasis. Insulin and glucagon ratio is same as DIVYANK ratio. Insulin will be 61.8034% and glucagon 38.196%. If that is maintained, you will never suffer from diabetes come what may. And the perfect homeostasis will be 111 milligram as an average. If that is maintained, you will have a perfectly healthy, wealthy, wise, intellectual health by and large. Then come to Anahata chakra, which I would associate heart with the sun. You can see both. The petals are 12. So that means literally 100 by 50 should be 10. But then north and south pole make it number 12. So this is something which you have to associate, ki as in the earth it is moon which is responsible. In heart it is heart on one side, earth and moon on either side put together become 10 plus 2, 12. Let's put it this way. So that is the conjunction of sun, moon and earth leading to 12. So I think 12 they have given. I am quite clear, it was quite clear. Then distance of earth is 12,800 kilometers. Diameter is 1,382,400 kilometers. And if you divide that number by this, you get 108. So that is another interesting thing. On the sun, 108 earths can fit in. On the sun, I am making clear, diameter of sun is equivalent to 108 earths. That is a conjunction. And between moon and earth, you have 100. So that conjunction makes it 12. So I am very clear. That is what has seen and then made it as 12. And of course, it was a T1 to T6 is also one with which cardiac plexus is involved. So that also makes it clear. Now science is coming closer, planets are coming close, endocrine glands are coming to, nervous system is coming. And that is the kind of wisdom has never been done in the history of man till today. When you have multi-dimensional approach to prove that number we are talking is a mathematically correct and there is no problem at all. Now I want people to really look at it, the kind of wisdom which is emerging in total package. Only if you have a complete package, you can be in university, because you have to appreciate this kind of precision. Couldn't have been done by any individual. I have not done it. I am only an instrument. I am just enjoying being a part of it. And I say, how beautiful is divine nature? How beautiful are the gods and goddesses? How are these concepts beautifully explained? And that's my asset for the world by and large. Now come to the Visudhi chakra, is the next chakra, which is the thyroid gland and parathyroid gland, and its association is with the Mars. And throat region, there are 7 cervical vertebrae, but I can tell you hired one is missing, and the vertebrae are 7, but there are 8 nerves from either side. So there are 16 cervical nerves which arise from throat area. So as a result, 16 petals explain very clearly Okay, this is what it is all about. Similarly, 240 divided by 15 is also equivalent to 16 as far as Mars is concerned. That's also something which I'm making it very clear. 215 million kilometers divided by 15 is equivalent to 16. And this is also associated with tapasya, tapas, heat, and Shiv's Neelkant by and large. Then come to Ajna chakra, which is I associate with hypothalamus, portal vein to adrenal. So this is a combination of adrenohypophysis. Anterior pituitary and posterior pituitary is what Ajna is all about. But association with hypothalamus Antar and pituitary and other endocrine glands, this is a combination which works. That's why Ajna is more a center of consciousness for autonomic functional level. Neurohypophysis, all the hormones are there, but then there are number of petals is 28. Here the association is with asteroid belt. 420 divided by 15 is 28. That's it. And of course, ascending, activating the respiratory system, and associated with rising causing Udana Prana is also something very closely associated with Ajna. So Ajna they talk about 2 and I talk about 28 because that 28 nucleus, and asteroid belt is 420 by this. So I'm trying to multidimensional and bring something which is uniformly seen mathematically from all the associated things, and that is what Akhandata is all about. Now the Kamsaka Vigyan is with a hypothalamus by and large, which is the center for autonomic circuit, endocrine system. It produces releasing hormone. Then it has a unique portal vein system which brings all the directly into anterior, posterior and posterior, and interior with hypothalamus, hypothalamic axis, which is a portal system, is beautiful. But the number of nuclei in hypothalamus are 52, and that's what it is. And its association is with planet. That is 780 divided by 15 is 52. So you are now have a very precise mathematical 780 million kilometers from Sun divided by 50 is 52. Now you see the inching of numbers clearly, and this has not been talked about it because it's very internalized, not externalized. Now I am internalizing and associating with the planets and also the nuclei. So as a result I see Brahmand and Pindand are same. Solar system as well as human body is identical is also a statement which I am trying to prove it. So it is also the anterior part is with the parasympathetic, and posterior parasympathetic is also association which I have already spoken about it. Now let's move on to the next stage. Pragyan is one which I associate with pineal gland, which is the highest endocrine gland. It produces melatonin in darkness. It has a circadian rhythm of sleep. It is also associated with planet Saturn, and Saturn distance is 1440 million kilometers divided by 15 will be 96 only. So again a precise concept, it should be 96. Then is a part of the central autonomic nervous system. Both sympathetic, parasympathetic, everything put together come to pineal gland. It is a parietal photocenter. You can Atma can be seen with the pineal gland, and that is what enlightenment is all about. And it is also called Nagamani, the third eye, and enlightenment. And it can visualize the indwelling human soul and self by and large. Once soul enters the ventricles of the brain after getting from Muladhara through breaking Brahma Granthi into the Brahma Nadi and then rising to this and coming in front of pineal gland, and pineal gland can see, and that vision can be seen by occipital region or visual cortex. Once you are able to see that, then you know what Pragyan, and it has got 96, and that's it. Then come to the Sahasarara chakra, the very next chakra, which is on top of the brain. It has got 1000 petals, agree. It's a lustrous full moon, sun, everything can be seen in together. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh can be seen. All the divinities can be seen. Everything is there in this particular picture itself. It's shaped as an inverted triangle, and of course, is an immortal great void and nectar, is central bindu, dot, liberation, everything is connected with it. This is the place of union of Jivatma, Antaratma, Paramatma, all can take place, and that is what Tret Pravate is all about. An eternal blissful state of Paramhamsa is experienced in Sahasarara as such. You breathe in and breathe out with Om, and once you come to the Om, A is associated with Muladhara chakra, U is associated with Anahata, Ma is associated with the brain. But when you come to higher, it's a Turiya, complete consciousness. Realization of Nirankar, Nirgun, Brahman can take place in this from internalization, not externalization. I'm making it very clear. Because I have experienced that, I'm able to reveal DIVYANK for the first time because I experienced the entire Brahmand, Mahabrahmand within Pindand, inside as such. And whole thing got revealed over a period of 30 years, and I'm happy this was a journey of the spiritual science step by step from nowhere to Akhandata. Now we will go into little more detail about Muladhara, which is first endocrine gland. I make it very clear. It is associated with scattered nuclei in the perineum region which produce smell. You can see this is the particular picture which ancient people had described about Muladhara chakra. I will not go into much, but few points which I will make it very clear. The seed mantra for this is Lam, and inverted triangle. It has got 4 petals like swastik, and also Kundalini is 22 by 27 as such over there, which is a pie in structure. And it goes around Shivling, around it in 3 plus coils, 3 Vrit, which is talked about it. Now, when I talked about it and things, I put together such a beautiful thing, and presiding goddess is Devi Dakini, which has 1 head. So what they had talked about Muladhara chakra and what I am speaking is perfectly wisdom of the highest art as far as their experience of Muladhara chakra is concerned as such. But now I have converted, as I have been saying very clearly, कि all these animate symbols, people have objection, how could be that? So I have converted the same thing into totally inanimate form. You can see on top. There is a talk of the descent of Kundalini, you can see in the middle, the triangle coming down from top, and also the square is a 4-1, and you can see the Kundalini 3 and 22 by 7 there. You can see Kundalini moving around, dynamic form, all what is there in ancient, and what I have experienced, I have converted to inanimate form, and I think this is a beautiful transmission from animate to semi-animate to inanimate form. And I think people should take seriously that only when you convert whole thing into divine mathematics, which is DIVYANK, and then in the light of that you create a symbol which is completely one. And I think this is a beautiful example for anybody to say that is impeccable wisdom. We should move on to the higher level. Now at the same time, I have, as I told you in one of the pictures, that leg part is converted inside the 2 cortex, you can see on top. So that is where Muladhara chakra is on top, the leg is inside. So in other words, earth is 7 parts are associated inside: Atal, Vital, Sutal, Tatal, Rasatal, Mahatal and Patal. That's how it is. So now you see that wisdom are 7 parts of the earth associated inside, not outside. They are grounding. And also something which has to be enlightened, accepted. What a beautiful knowledge they had given, but hidden that we could not see the real beauty by itself. Then coming to the second chakra of Svadhisthan chakra is associated with reproductive organ. You can see the picture on one left side and you can see my picture on the right side. It is with the sex endocrine glands. This is the old picture which is associated with this. If Muladhara's sound is Lam, sound of Svadhisthana is Vam. That is reason Vama mark is connected with sexuality, and I would say the use of word Vama mark is the Dakshin mark, a southern part, and it's recent, it is with water and connected with liquid and other thing. Earth is connected with solid matter, and this is with water. So this is 61.8034%, and whereas that is 38.196. This is again DIVYANK is coming very close. कि earth is solid, Muladhara, and Svadhisthana is water or jal. And this is the two which are the basic things which I said, they move between these two all the time. That's it. And of course, the presiding deity is Lord Vishnu, and Devi is Rakni with two heads. Now I have converted that into this particular picture. You can see two triangles of Rakni, and you can see 6 numbers, and it is made of sex hormone testosterone, which is called Ojas, which has to be converted into Ojas estradiol as a Tejas for enlightenment. So that's the reason this particular having cloud of testosterone and estrogen progesterone makes very healthy with Ojas. But once that is converted to estrogen, it gets converted to intelligence. And that's why Svadhisthana plays very important role in producing intelligence. And I can tell you, if you are intelligent, you'll have a lot of testosterone. And testosterone is required for RBC production, muscle production, intelligence, and power by and large. That's it. Now the question that is also associated with sacral parasympathetic system, which I have shown, S2, S3, S4, from lateral canal they rise, and then 5 organs they supply, is all what Svadhisthana is all about. But let me also bring very close. Svadhisthana and Muladhara chakra are connected with Apana prana. And of course, Manipura, Nabhi also is with that. That's combination. The 3 combination is a combination of Apana. That means the whole thing gets expelled. Urine is also expelled, child is also expelled, fecal matter is also entered. All the waste is through kidneys, uterus, as well as intestines. All the 3 are with Muladhara, Svadhisthana, and Nabhi. That is Apana prana. One thing which I realized, that since I have experience of within me, I found the perfect human menstrual cycle for the first time. I have given it, I am not going to detail, it's just a reminder. Because I have internalized completely, I have been able to reveal the perfect human cycle for the first time in the history of mankind, for the world to say all the knowledge which we have of the human menstrual cycle is defective. This is the only which is perfect. I have already given, please read it up. Then of course, as far as spermatogenesis is concerned, I have told you one spermatogen gets converted to 512, and that means there are 10 stages of development here too, and leave it at that. Even oogenesis is the same story. Then come to the question of Nabhi and Manipura chakra, which is adrenal gland, which I am speaking about. Now, in that particular sound of Nabhi chakra and Manipura is Ram. In Muladhara is Lam, Svadhisthana is Vam, and Nabhi is Ram. These are 3 phonetic sounds which are very, very important, and that's the reason people who say Hey Ram and they die, they live from Nabhi chakra only. Let's accept fact, that is what it is all about. And of course the vehicle is Ram, adult, he, sheep, and that's why you can see how things are really beautifully done by them. And also is closely associated with Vani Nadi and the Sushmana Nadi, the vertebral column. And of course the presiding deity is Rat Ludra. Manipura, Muladhara, it is Brahma. Svadhisthana is Vishnu. And Nabhi, it's Rudra. So Brahma, Vishnu 3, and all the 3 and the lower chakras itself is something which I want everybody to understand. And of course the presiding deity for this is Devi Lakshmi. That means it's got 3 heads. That means the number of petals is 10. And I think I've already explained about that too. Now from that we have taken it to this particular stage. Now you can see 10 petals and the triangle coming down to show there 5 segments of lumbar system can give you 10 nerves, and leave it at that. I think this also becomes very clear, and of course you are going to see something which will surprise you. In this particular picture I have shown the adrenal gland, and I have also shown you inside there are 3 layers plus this. Then blood comes from top and goes through the capillary portal system to reach adrenal medulla step by step. That means all the 3 layers produce steroids, and then go to medulla oblongata to produce catecholamine, dopamine, adrenaline. Is a beautiful system which I want people to see separately. This is only a reminder how I'm bringing together that part of it. Then of course it go to the next stage, Usha chakra, which I call pancreas gland. And as far as ancient Indians have not spoken it, I'm talking about 12 and associating with rays of light as 12. And of course insulin, other thing I've already spoken about it. I'm not going to go to detail of this. And of course glucose homeostasis, I already spoken about it. This is beautiful as 100 milligram. And of course exocrine functions of pancreas also very closely researched, because mouth produces insulin, let's say alpha protein to produce carbohydrate, and stomach produces protein digestion, whereas small intestine with the help of alkaline medium from the pancreas produces digestion of fatty acids or lipids. So this is then left, leave it at that. Now you can read it detail for later. Then come to the heart chakra, Anahata chakra, which is associated with thymus endocrine gland. This old picture and the new picture. In the old picture you can see that Vam Mad is Yam, Lam, Ram, Ram and Yam, and it is with unstrung sound. It is associated with mantras, Surya Mandala, Sun, and also Vayu hexagonal. And as I told you, T7 to T12 are the 6 petals, and they have 12. And I have also associated other thing, that they are closely associated with Devanagari script also. And these are Devi Nakni as 4 heads as a detail, and of course Shivlinga is the Varma mark inside the triangle. You can see detail one by one. But I have converted whole thing to an inanimate form of mantra vidya. It starts with 1. You can call it phonetic sound. Then it is a 3-part, that is Om, A, U, Ma. Then 6 part. Om Shri Surya, sorry, Shiva, Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya is the 6th one. Vasudevaya is 12, and Gayatri is 24, and Akhand Gayatri is 48. Let's put it this way. This is connected with music, mantras, and higher consciousness with the mind and sun moon combination is a fantastic thing. And I think we can see the beauty within the heart, and you is also associated with it. Then comes to the question of thymus is the endocrine gland, which can produce cell-mediated immunity by and large. I will not go into detail. You can read that separate independent detail on this particular. Then come to the next is Visudhi chakra with throat. The old picture is on the left side and my picture on one side, and this is for thyroid and parathyroid glands. Now old picture has got a sound of hum. Lam, Ram, Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam and hum. So now you have come to the 16 petals. I have already explained about it, and it also talks about Shiva and Shakti consciousness over there, and it talks about 5 heads of Devi Sakni, and that's beautiful thing you can see in this. But I have converted the whole thing into this picture where you can see center. First 1, then triangle, then 6, then followed by 4, followed by 8, followed by 16, followed by 32. This is how it goes on. And that's why you have 16 petals over there as a thing which you can see in this picture. It's the same graphic presentation and associated with heat, the thyroid gland, and of course the calcium and muscles, and of course associated with Nilkant by and large. Now this critical combination of maintaining calcium, potassium, I have explained about homeostasis. You can go and read it detailed later. Then come to the question of Nilkant by and large is a picture which I have spoken, is one of the things which came from the sun, from Sagar Manthan, Samundar Manthan, churning of ocean, is called Hala Hala, the poison. And poison is actually iodine, which is 53rd element. How it is used to kill on one side, and how iodine is used for producing thyroid hormone in the thyroid gland, and which in the process can produce heat. This revelation of tapasya, tapas, thyroid gland, Visudhi, other thing now you see the ancient side from one end, modern science for different, and I'm seeing now bringing both together and say this is adding knowledge to the modern science by and large much more than what it had been done by others till date. That's it. Now coming to the question of Ajna chakra, the next chakra, which is anterior and posterior pituitary gland, and it is shown as two, maybe anterior and posterior, they talked about it. Maybe what I am talking about is 28 petals. But as you can see in this particular picture, there are two white petals, two akshas, Ha and Sa, like Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum, and now Kasha. So that they're coming very close to the Om part. You are now becoming defined, and it has got 6 heads, and of course is Devi Hakni, but old talked about it, and they were talking about concept which I would say, I'll not go into details of this, but I would say this is Param Shiva or Shakta over there, by and large is sin, and I can see this is where higher consciousness starts coming up. So from Vishuddhi chakra to Ajna chakra to higher chakra is a sinner consciousness. The people had not really looked into it. So they had not worked with Shiva as much. I think people by and large were quite happy with Brahma as a creator, given its importance as the first start, and leave it at one temple. Then Vishnu's Dasavatar, they talked about 10 stages. When come to the maturation part, I don't think many people had gone into that. So hints were given by the ancient species to look at it, but the real description comes up in this work, how they have not done, we will do it, and we'll move on much better thereafter. Now I've converted the whole thing with Ajna chakra as anterior pituitary, particularly as an adenohypophysis, how hypothalamus with the portal hypothalamic hypophyseal axis brings releasing hormone in picogram to anterior pituitary to produce growth hormone, prolactin, stimulating hormone FSH, follicular stimulating, luteinizing hormone, thyroid stimulating, endocrine acid. And of course the posterior pituitary produces ADH, is stored there, and oxygen is stored, but they are produced by hypothalamus. And that is some combination which I am finding. Hypothalamus to interior and posterior is a combination, and the number of nuclei in this particular thing are 28. So let's leave it at that, and then say we have moved on from 2 to 28, now associating to ascending consciousness, which makes us arise to higher levels of consciousness. The Udana Prana comes up from Ajna chakra only in brain stem, midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata only. Leave it at that. Now comes the Ajna chakra. As I told you, this particular picture you can see is hypothalamus hypophyseal axis, and this you can read it when in detail when in the particular chapter when I have spoken about it as such. This is only accumulating for integrating. Now come to the next chakra, which is called Vigyan chakra, which has not been spoken by ancient Indians at all. But I am very particular in it because this is one which brought the internalization within me. When I had experience of seeing, producing alpha frequency through the brain after opening the eye, and then made the symbols, and I asked only question, if you can made me understand Gayatri Dattatreya symbolism. Animate and semi-animate form you have done it, but you can make me convert that into inanimate form. The one which appeared was Vigyan chakra, this particular chakra only. And this is endocrine hypothalamus. Both. All the endocrine glands finally come there. They produce the releasing hormones there. And of course the highest center for autonomic nervous system is this in precise part. Of course higher connections, our central autonomic nervous system is there. But this is what was very enlightening, and that's why I call it Vigyan, very scientific in approach. All my philosophy brought it to mathematical science. From there only mathematics started appearing. The science started appearing. And then I could go to the spiritual side and see this is spiritual science by and large. Now once from that angle, this was the transformation which brought real change in me. From main religious person on one side academician on one side. Then coming to the stage of spiritual science transformation was the Vigyan Chakra. Now, Vigyan Chakra has not been spoken is the other thing, and I told you it's the autonomic center, it's the endocrine gland, it's a releasing hormone, unique portal system as I told you, and associated with planet Jupiter. 78 divided by 15 is 52. I have already spoken about it. There is no mention in Chakra Nirupana. It is associated with posterior hypothalamus, sympathetic system. This and all that now I put together to show Vigyan is the center of endocrine glands as well autonomic ganglion, and of course the intelligence, because everything takes place there. Once you come to the hypothalamus completely, only then you become scientific in approach. All the philosophy, all the right belief are peripheral. Now you come to the very core, and that is the core I am talking about. Once you come to the core, you will understand the beautiful of impeccable wisdom only rising there. And that way, hypothalamus is a very good center for integration. Akhandata comes there, and that's it. Now, as I told you, the unfolding, I have produced a particular picture that you can see at the bottom. Dattatreya on one side, which is the central part of the picture. Gayatri on the right side, which is the complete part. When I asked you to make me convert that into a graphic presentation which is absolutely pure, and how my inner soul, helium, with the help of Gayatri and other Gayatri, made me make a symbol. You can see right on top, dot in the center and one circle. That means everything starts from 0, that is Shunya. Then 9 numbers were put after that and then converted. So that means Shunya starts with 0, numerical number starts from 0, and 1, 2, 3, 4 came out of that. It is not the Surya was Shunya or 0 was added later. West did not know about it. But India knew it from the very beginning itself. Rigveda itself had known it. And everything, and I've already explained that. So India knew very well all the numerological number is from 0 only. And everything is come from that. And after 9 you come to 1 and then become 10 and then moves on. We knew it very well. We have mentioned about 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, etc. from the very beginning itself. Ravana had 10 heads. Gayatri had 10 arms. Was well known. So I don't think we were ignorant. Only the West did not understand that level. That's the reason they had, and we follow the West blindly, which is man-made mathematics. It's not a divine mathematics, which Indians have spoken about it. Indian rishis, maharishis, brahma rishis and Akhand rishis knew mathematics of the divine nature from the very beginning. They had revealed pi as a 22 by 7 equivalent to 3.142857 only, not the one which talking about. And we had talked about that as the structure of Kundalini itself. And everything I am now trying to show what ancient had done, which is 1,000 times better than what West has given us into man-made mathematics. Now we need to now redesign our research with DIVYANK in mind and produce a result which will be much more perfect from every angle. And my objective is only that, nothing other than this particular chakra. Vigyan has given me the power to think, analyze for yourself, find out this and that, and do the debates, and come to a stage, and come to a thought which is beyond any comparison. And that's why I have been able to take to impeccable wisdom, which nobody can find fault. It has taken me 60 years of this, and maybe 22 different lives of other things, where I have done other things. I remember that now I am able to produce that from my childhood in the span of 65 years to the world, what it is all about. Maybe you can say 70 years plus is what you are seeing today. Now comes the Vigyan Chakra. I would say it is associated right up to hypothalamus. You can see it here. You can see anterior pituitary. You can see the complete brain. Right up to this you have come to that level, and that is Vigyan Chakra I am talking about. But on top of this I put a Pragyan as well as Sahasarara. That is the integration of the central autonomic nervous system I am talking about. Once this system is understood completely, I think we are in tune with universal consciousness. And that's what I said. I am in tune with universal consciousness, Akash Kosh. My internet is Akash Kosh, which has the past, present and future. And the fluctuation of Akash Kosh is 7.83 to 8.73. and if I can even produce that vibration, alpha frequency with eyes open throughout the brain, you can be in tune with that, is something which I have already explained again and again in my PhD work, and thereafter step by step. Now unfolding that is required to move on to the next levels of consciousness, which is Turiya consciousness. Now comes Pragyan chakra. Pra means absolute wisdom. Gyan is a knowledge. Vigyan is science. Pragyan is absolute wisdom. Beyond Gyan and Vigyan to Pragyan, you come to the absolute wisdom, and that is what in pineal gland is all about. This is a center which lets us see the Antaratma one by one, step by step. And this particular picture is also a new thing, but it is something which is a structure of centriole itself, which is the one responsible for procreation. So now you see another element of science, and of course the structure of that, and ancient knew it very well. This is the one which gives you to Brahma. Gyan itself is required for the new development which takes. First stage of creation is with centriole. Two parts of centrosome become two centrioles, and their life starts. So 22 by 21 is realized once you come there, one and large. Now come to the question, this is also chakra which ancient have not spoken about it as such, the world is talking about. But I know very well, this was associated with Bindu chakra, which is the back side of the head where Brahmins keep tail, head, what tail? Because pineal gland is on the back side, and that is what we see, and that was Brahmins were made to put a tie like that, hair tie, so that that particular part is activated very well. And this is the highest endocrine center, and it is associated with sympathetic system. Let me make it very clear. Sympathetic system helps it in squeeze that. It has nothing to do with parasympathetic supply. It's also something which I want to do. Is a sympathetic cervical comes from cervical, and the one which produce this. And also the snake, which is shown to have Nagamani, can see with the third eye, and this is called the third eye of enlightenment. So I would not call third eye as Agnya chakra or Vigyan chakra. I would say Pragyan chakra is really enlightening third eye, because Nagamani, snake, pineal gland is associated with that, and once we have indwelling soul within the ventricles, it can activate pineal gland, and pineal gland will not go through misuse, disuse, atrophy at all. It will not get calcified, what you normally see. It will remain vibrant throughout. So even as you grow older, you are as alert, as attentive, as in tune with universal consciousness, because your pineal gland is very, very active. And that is also something which converts testosterone to ages, and of course melatonin, as well as endorphin, enkephalin. Many of those things are produced in that area, which gives us a Satchit Anand also at the same time. Once you reach that level of understanding, you have one with higher levels of consciousness in Pragyan chakra, and that is what I am talking about. I have experienced it. I can see the light. When it is a pure soul consciousness, it will be ultraviolet, beautiful light. But of course, if you have thoughts of other aspects of the thing, you see other 7 colors also sometimes. You will know what your thought is, what you see there. Because your Kundalini is giving you this particular thought is a process in your mind, because Kundalini goes wherever thoughts go, and that's it. And depending upon, if you are very intelligent, multi-dimensional, you know all the 64 arts, your entire brain will be active, because different parts of knowledge is stored in different parts and then finally coordinated into one. And once that is done, only then Pragyan comes up. That is what will take you to Paravidya, absolute wisdom, to impeccable wisdom. And I think impeccable wisdom is associated with Pragyan. And this is what I say, it's associated with Saturn. And that is again 1440 million kilometers divided by 115 million kilometers is 96. Now again science is coming very close. And once you are able to see the Saturn, experience Saturn within you, you see the identity. And Saturn is the last planet which has the effect on the human beings. Nothing beyond that. Other planets right up to Saturn, like Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Moon, etc., have effect, but nothing beyond. And Saturn is the only one which goes around the Sun in 30 years. And that's also a beautiful thing which I have realized. How beautiful is astronomy, how beautiful is astrology, how beautiful is all the 64 arts which can make us come to impeccable wisdom. Since I have seen all the subject, I understand all the subject, and I think I will be able to integrate it better, because you need to have a proper theoretical knowledge to cognize things. Your eyes see what your mind knows. If mind does not know, you don't have the Gyan, Vigyan, Pragyan and AKHANDATA. Your eyes will not be able to see because they are not aware of it. So awareness comes with the proper theoretical knowledge, and then you can experience as such is one thing which I am talking about. So from that, Pragyan has helped me because I have learned all the 64 arts, A to Z of detail, and associated all into the 10 stages and giving the world impeccable wisdom with DIVYANK, and that is what the world needs now to move on to next level of research in science again, so that we understand every aspect much more clearly. We don't have the defects which scientists are doing. They find fault with the old one, they add something, somebody else comes, find fault with it and adds. There's only evolutionary things going on. It's not come to the truth which we need. But DIVYANK, we can go to the truth. We'll have a new science, uniform science for all the school, college, universities, the entire thing. That is my objective, and that's what exactly I'm trying to do. Now move on to the next stage. Now Pragyan gives you this concept that you can see that pineal gland on backside and soul on this side is what it is all about. This is the third eye, is the concentration. Now come to the Sahasarara chakra, which is the 10th center. You can see on top, it's an endocrine gland. Here, there is no endocrine gland, there is no autonomic, but there is central autonomic nervous system, and also the effect of all the hormones put together come there to give you blissful state of the mind. And that's why I would say this is the highest subtle form of endocrine gland, subtle form of autonomic nervous system. This is what Turiya is all about. You go beyond Akara, Yukara, Makara to Turiya. Turiya is super consciousness, which has everything in that, and you can see the entire universe within that, and that is what it is all about. Now let's understand. Sahasrara chakra has 1,000, even earlier have spoken about it, there is no doubt about it. It is a space beyond the solar system. Let me make it one clear. Right out to solar system is below 1,000, but beyond the solar system to Saptrishi Loka is 1,000 ones. And that distance is I'm talking about. Let's not go into detail of this. It's an inverted triangle, and of course central dot is Bindu, is a liberation. There is a union of Jivatma, Antaratma and Paramatma over takes place. You can see the sense for complete Paramhamsa, entire blissful state you can experience there. You can experience realization of Nirankar, Nirgun, Brahman by and large. You come to the next higher levels of consciousness one by one from thereafter. Now I am now bringing something which I have made again and again is a reflection. There are 3 outer layers of neocortex. Neuroscientists of the world have absolutely no knowledge at all. They have no idea what are the functions of 3 outer layers. They only talk about all the sensory components from the body come to the 4th layer of neocortex. Integration takes place in 4th layer, and all the descending autonomic as well as motor components from 4th layer only. 1st, 2nd and 3rd outer layers they have no idea. Now I am going to have, as I have told you, reptilian brain has grey matter inside, which is associated with ventricles by and large. But with this particular thing, you have grey matter receptors outside. Once these are active, they work as an antenna to Akash Kosh. So all the impeccable wisdom of the entire universe, what has happened before the creation, during creation and thereafter, past, present and future is there in Kosh. And that vibration, as I told you, Schumann resonance field, ionosphere, Akash Kosh is 7.83 to 8.73. And if you can produce that throughout the brain with eyes open, you can be in tune with that. And that is something which I have shown. I am able to produce 8 Hz alpha frequency through the brain even after opening up, is something which nobody has done, because I am in tune with Turiya of Sahasarara chakra. I have activated thing. I am in tune with Akash Kosh. I am in ionosphere as well as human resonance field. As a result, all the 10 chakras I will explain inside me. And as a result, impeccable wisdom of DIVYANK has known. The Brahma is equivalent to 20 by 21, and Vishnu is 10th stage of development, which I have spoke, and then Shiva is 0.344. I have realized, because I am maybe the first person who concentrated on Shiva chakras inside the brain, which lead to final dissolution and regeneration. When I say dissolution of the lower consciousness, regeneration to the higher consciousness. That's what he was all about. I think that has given me the power to understand mathematical design right up to DIVYANK, so precise, concise, which has never happened. But of course, it happened only 2015, and of course my friends, my work of so many years has brought it together. Thanks to Professor Govindrajlu, who sat 2 days. We worked to find this number. We found the number, then all the puzzles, and then I wrote the book, DIVYANK, the Divine Constant, and of course Akhand Sutra, and now same thing now explaining in a very integrated form for the world, because this is what knowledge we need to become uniform syllabus for the entire world. And I think that is the most significant part of my work, and the world should have it one by one. Now I am again showing it. Sahasrara is Amrit, immortal nectar, and outer 3 layers are the one which can. Now you can see Muladhara, 7 parts of earth element, Atal to Patal to all the layers are inside. But to go outside is what you see this. This is what Turiya is going to the outer part, not inside part. And it spreading to Akash Kosh will give you blissful state, because you are in tune with universal consciousness. Brahmand, and Pindand, they become one. And that is Tret Pratavati I am talking about. Once you have that, the kind of blissful state you feel is Satchit Anand. And that is what has given me DIVYANK, that is what has given me AKHANDATA, that is has given me that knowledge very clear within my body, inside out, from atom to elements to molecules to compound to the cells, 100 trillion cells inside me, my Antaratma and universal consciousness given me the knowledge. And that is what the real beauty of Sahasrara chakra is, provided you are there. Entire universe is at your fingertips. Your Aditi is at your hand, Gayatri is in your hands, Adi Prashakti is with your hand, entire Rigved, Upanishads, all the scriptures of the world which talk of the divine mathematics are at your beck and call. And that's the beauty of this particular thing which I am talking about. Now come to the next stage. As I told you, when you come to that stage, you literally come to central autonomic networking. The entire body becomes a medium for the universal consciousness. Once you are a medium of universal consciousness, you understand autonomic nervous system completely, you are near endocrine system completely, you understand 100 trillion cells completely, you understand every aspect, and you are able to produce that. You are very close to the universal consciousness. That's where central autonomic nerve is the one which is associated with Sahasrara, which makes you one with universal consciousness. Once you are in tune with universal consciousness, all the knowledge you have, you are going to feel a state of perfect physical health, emotional stability, mental intelligence, intellect, buddhi, intuition, and you are in with Akash Kosh, you are with Akhandata, you are with DIVYANK. And I think it has been a beautiful unfolding in 60 years, from 0 level to this level, step by step, more internalizing rather than externalizing. I had seen the external world from Antaratma for 7 years. From 7 years onward, it has been internal journey with respect to my soul, understanding wisdom and giving word, and the result is I have phenomenal, exemplary school results, college results, university results, and this level is only because it is Atma telling me, and I am trying to verify and give the world the wisdom which the world needs it. And I think that is the greatest contribution. I would say my life is blessed, and I say I'm good instrument, good student, and that's what everybody should start listening to. Those understand your guru is within you. You don't have to look for guru outside. Your Antaratma has come, the entire universe is from there. Shunya is from there. Zero is from there. Every knowledge has come from there. You go back to Shunya, from where it started. And then you see the entire thing will be perfect without any defect of any nature at any stage. And that is what I'm talking about. Autonomic nervous system, endocrine system, totally one as such. Let's move on to the next stage. Now, as I've told you, once you go to, there are 5 stages of this: delta, theta, alpha and beta. Beta is very predominant activating thing which is disturbing the mind. Alpha is very calm and quiet, which puts you with universal consciousness. Theta will go transition from waking consciousness to sleep consciousness, and deep sleep is delta. Once these 4 states are known very well, when you are disturbed mentally, it is beta. When you are calm and quiet with universe, it's alpha, 8 hertz. Below that you come theta, when you are literally going to sleep into it. When you go to deep sleep, it will be delta. And I have shown that I can produce alpha frequency of 8 hertz with open eye throughout the brain. You can see the picture. That is very rare combination, no one has done. And what I have challenged the entire world, you are saying that 10.5 hertz with eyes closed from occipital region when the mind is at rest. Rest of brain does not have. But I am now producing something which is against very thing you are talking about. Once that is understood, I think we are very clear. We will move on to the final stage, the final slide, which is the very next one. Now I have come to the last stage. All the information which I have spoken about from multi-dimensional is there in this picture. As I tell you, ancient Indian wisdom of Tantra had this particular picture. Modern science also uses the same symbol. The West and East both have used the same symbol. I have slightly modified that, added 10 plus chakras and some modification to show this is impeccable wisdom. But 2 snakes which are there, actually the Ida and Pingala, very sympathetic system. And the right at Sushma is what the vertebral column. Within that you have upper is cranial parasympathetic, lower sacral parasympathetic system, and of course the mind, thoughts, intelligence, everything as such. Once this whole picture is understood, I can tell you, you can be in tune with universal consciousness. All Akash Kosh information of past, present and future will be at your beck and call, and you don't have to look into the books. You have a question, your Antaratma will give you from Akash Kosh, then you verify in the light and then find the rectification of the mathematics which you know, physics we know, then your definition will be much more precise and clear without any dichotomy of any nature. And that is exactly what I have done. Having done that, this comes, I think is more than enough for the day. I think we have really elaborated on chakras on one side, associated with autonomic nervous system, associated with endocrine gland, and also associated with the planets, and also brought astronomy, astrology, ancient Indian wisdom, and this to a level that all the dimensions of the world, whether Brahmand, Mahabrahmand, Pindand, right up to A to Z, is follow the same rule, which is DIVYANK. Having understood, I think it is enough for the day. I would say it's been lovely sharing my experience step by step with the impeccable wisdom in light of DIVYANK, and then bringing together is a phenomenal knowledge. We should have that kind of knowledge. Now we can start building on it. The last few videos which I am making, which are more integrative and path breaking to move on to the next stage. So thank you very much. It's been lovely talking to you. Thank you.